But let's get started with our big story, which is a sports wagering story today and a massive, massive fine via the Caesars Sportsbook. $100,000 they're going to have to pay courtesy of the Michigan Gaming Control Board. Why? Well, a tech failure allowed a bettor named Jeffrey Sacco to exploit their system and deposit over $2.1 million without actually using real funds. How did it happen? He placed nearly 10,000 bets worth over $88 million in 16 days, ultimately withdrawing only about $600,000 before he ceased activity. Caesars did self-report the issue, cooperated with law enforcement. They also took steps with third-party account management to prevent this happening in the future. But following a criminal investigation, this individual was charged with 8 felonies and sentenced to 3 months in jail and 3 years probation. He also has to obviously repay Caesars, starting with $25,000 payments and installments of $2,500 during his probation. So something slipping through the cracks of that magnitude is going to result in a fine. Last night, wild game right down to the finish, and the Lions, as a 5-point underdog, go into Baltimore, win the game outright, 38-30. The final in this one, a huge game for David Montgomery on the ground with the longest run of the NFL season, also ended up scoring a couple of times. A key fumble by Derrick Henry at the end of the game led to the final score of the Lions, and the Ravens end up losing this one at home. A team effort truly on offense and defense, says head coach Dan Campbell.
We're going to need each other to find a way to win this game. You know, the offense was going to need the defense to pick it up. Special teams was going to need the offense to pick it up, and vice versa. So, man, I thought we played complimentary football. We did exactly what we said we needed to do. We were able to corral Lamar. We didn't let Henry get going, and Zay Flowers. You know, we came away with takeaways and big stops. And offensively, we were able to control the ground and the time of possession, and our receivers and Goff made plays in critical moments in this game. I just thought it was an outstanding team effort, man.
It's big, and they were all due to our O-line. I don't know how many times we ran it on the 98-yard one. It felt like we just kept running the ball, and then Demo obviously had the long run on the other one. But, yeah, those guys up front tonight were incredible, and they were grinding. They were tired on some of those long drives, and they were tired, and the D-line was more tired. So it was good to just see them keep pushing, keep going, and those were huge drives.
First week of international games, by the way, coming up this week, and we got some news yesterday as the Minnesota Vikings are getting set for their second game, and it looks like that's going to be without J.J. McCarthy. Yesterday, Kevin O'Connell essentially took it head on, saying as of right now, it's the Carson Wentz show. McCarthy ruled out for their international game coming up this weekend, and no decisions, by the way, firmly being made in the future.
Yeah, I think, the first and foremost, he's got to get healthy. And then throughout that process, it's not just, I don't think it's one of those things where it's, hey, the day he's healthy, and if he's healthy the night before a game, we're going to just throw him out there and say, hey, go figure it out type of thing. I think we saw, as phenomenal as he was getting prepared for the Atlanta game, he did miss practice that week. And when you're in the phasing of building up the 10,000 reps and 10,000 hours of what it takes to play the position at a very high level, which we know J.J. McCarthy is going to do, you can't cut corners on that. And that also doesn't require an answer on that question today. I think our goal was to win a football game yesterday. We're in the day after of that. We've had our players in. We're preparing for another, top-tier opponent. And I think we've got to have another really good week of preparation, and then you add on the layers to travel and making sure our players have the utmost confidence in how we're handling the trip and building it, progressively throughout the week till we get another opportunity, which we're really excited about.
Injuries also the story around the NFL, with Nick Bosa missing yet more time on an NFL field. He's been hurt over the last few years and no stranger to injuries. He's out for the season. It was announced yesterday. Bosa, of course, suffering the injury on Sunday, pointed thumbs down to his family in the stands, so this was not a huge surprise. The 49ers, by the way, have been up against it with a ton of injuries, including Jawan Jennings, who missed last week. But the good news is Kyle Shanahan said yesterday that he does expect quarterback Brock Purdy to practice this week, so he certainly will have a chance to play. Also, just recently announced, NFL Network reports that Mike Evans of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers has a hamstring injury. He's going to miss multiple weeks. As far as the New York Giants are concerned, can't score on offense, so naturally the questions are going to come. Is it time for a change at quarterback? Head coach Brian Daboll is leaving the door open right now. It would appear Jackson Dart has a chance to start this weekend.
Everybody's got to be, doing exactly the right stuff. So it's not all on one guy. There's multiple reasons why, certain plays didn't, come out the way we wanted them to come out, and we'll continue to do that.
So Russ remains the starter moving forward?
Yeah, we're working through, all personnel decisions, and we'll do that over the next few days.
You're not saying Russ is the starter, right? You're saying you're still working through that?
Yeah, we're doing what we normally do, which is, watch the tape. We're just watching it with the players right now. So, we'll have staff meetings after this, but when we come in, we watch the tape, offense, defense, kicking game as a staff, and then we go meet with the players. That's where we're at right now.
When you say what you normally do, most Monday afternoons, who your quarterback's going to be the upcoming week if everyone's healthy, though. It just seems a little different, your responses.
Yeah, well, look, we're going through the tape right now. We're evaluating everything.
So quarterback change is on the table.
I'd say we're evaluating everything.
Good questions. Couldn't get the answer they were looking for. All right, CeeDee Lamb also injured in the Cowboys game against the Bears over the weekend. He's going to miss 3 to 4 weeks with a high ankle sprain. The Packers, certainly not happy with talks of an undefeated season ahead of their loss in Cleveland.
Well, I just think this league is such a week-to-week league, and you can never lose sight of that. And you can't take any moment, any game for granted. And the goal, and I've said it a million times to you guys, I don't think I've obviously said it enough to our team, the goal is to go 1-0 every week. And it pisses me off when we start talking about things outside of the next game, things that are way down the road. Like, focus on, keep the focus on the present, on the now, and worry about getting better each and every day.
A retirement in college basketball ahead of the upcoming season that begins late next month. Bruce Pearl has decided to hang it up. His son Steven's going to be the next head coach at Auburn. Pearl won 463 career Division I games. He was 4-time SEC Coach of the Year. He's got 2 Final Four appearances and won the most games ever as a head coach at Auburn. Great career for Bruce Pearl. Probably gets into media, would be my guess. All right, in college football, the ACC has fined Syracuse $25,000 for faking injuries in the fourth quarter with 9 minutes to go. Some shady business going on there. Also, Alabama's running back Jam Miller and defensive lineman Tim Keenan look like they're going to play against Georgia. And Mike Gundy, regardless of these awful results at Oklahoma State, says he wants to keep coaching. We'll see.